Hello, mentees. I decided that maybe producing a YouTube video every now and then might be a great way for everybody to hear the same thing at the same time. It seems to be impossible to catch all of you during your free time, which there's not much of at the beginning of the year. So we're going to try this, and I want you to give me feedback as far as whether you enjoy this, appreciate this, got what you needed kind of thing. If you would prefer to meet one-on-one a little more frequently, that is totally fine as well. But I'm going to go down the list. At the beginning of the year, Ms. Klein and I had kind of come up with an idea of listing some certain topics for each month that we felt might be important to cover with all of you, whether you're a first year or second year mentee. And so I'm going to just go down the list and also maybe touch on a few of the topics that you have all reached out to me about. One of the main ones being classroom management, because we all know that if we don't get that established and get that relationship going between peers in the classroom, but also as a teacher to student relationship, if we don't get that going in a positive direction right off the bat, it does not set us up for success as well. So first of all, I wanted to tell you that as well as being your mentor, I am also hired as an instructional coach for the district. So the principals and I have decided that one of my first duties will be to just help observe and maybe give you some feedback on MTSS. Some of you are not very familiar at all with it. Some of you are extremely familiar with it, but it does hold a lot of weight as far as a 30-minute chunk of time in your day that can make so much difference. So I will be in and out of classrooms, not just yours, but most of the staff at SES and BES, and evaluating our MTSS procedures. What can we do better? What are we already doing great? And how can we use that time to the best of our abilities and for the best of our students? I do work, just a quick review again of my schedule. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are my days. I am part-time, but I work all day those days. So every morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, I am available for visits with you, observations, peer teaching, peer coaching kind of scenarios. So I will be sending out a document soon where you can sign up for those types of opportunities with me, and I am so excited about doing those with you. So I'll visit about those a little later on in the video. I'm also available Wednesday afternoons as well, and tomorrow, in fact, I have a lot of check-ins set up for that time. So topic number one, establishing routines. How is that going in your classroom? When I first began teaching, there was an author named Harry Wong. I even got to see him in person at an in-service in Hayes we went, and he was absolutely phenomenal as far as establishing procedures, being clear and concise with those procedures, spending lots of time the first few weeks of school, not just the first day of school, but the first few weeks of school, ingraining those in your students. What do you expect? Keeping them clear, concise, simple, and just a few expectations that can cover a lot of behaviors. I know I've visited with Caden and Kelsey a lot about that, and they have some great procedures set up. They've numbered those procedures. They are reading them with their class every day. I even suggested that they type up a contract of some kind that lists all of those procedures. I believe they each have 5. And that they have the students read through them and sign them so that they have ownership in those procedures and they become very familiar, so that when you're busy working your classroom and Johnny decides that he's going to get up out of his seat and twirl around and knock on the student's desk beside him, that you can say, rule number 1, and Johnny can say, I will work quietly, or I will work efficiently, or whatever that rule happens to be. You won't even have to say the rule, and they will have them ingrained in their mind. And it doesn't matter whether they're kindergartners or 6th graders. That type of procedure introduction and memorization is going to lend itself well to your classroom management. Also, your classroom culture, setting it up for success. You should still be building that classroom community. Don't feel guilty taking time away from the curriculum if you've already jumped into that. To sit down with your class and do some more getting to know you activities. Learning their comfort levels on what areas of academics do these students feel comfortable in, what do they not feel comfortable in, do they hate writing, is that why they're acting out during any type of task where I'm asking them to write. Just getting to know those students, jotting down some little anecdotal notes, informal notes that you can use and refer back to. Oh, I noticed that today Sally was erasing over and over again because she's a perfectionist, and I need to help reinforce to her that it's okay to make mistakes, and if it's not quite perfect every time, that's all right too. So establishing that classroom culture. Cooperative learning activities are a great way to help children learn about one another and for you to learn about them. So if you are not familiar with cooperative learning and some of those really fun strategies you can do as small groups in your classroom, let me know, because I have used many of them throughout the years, and if there are some that I'm not familiar with that you have found on a YouTube or do some research and would like to try something, I'm willing to research it too, and we can do it, we can team teach it, we can work together, so let me know. Okay, another little bullet point I had written down is make sure you have your PDC plan completed, those goals that you worked on prior to school starting. You had some in-service time to work on them, but make sure you've got those completed. If you need to run anything by me, goals, objectives, ways that you can achieve those goals, I'm happy to help. Remember, KISS, keep it simple. And you will do fine. If there's some professional training that you're looking towards bettering yourself as a professional that you want to do this year, make sure you tie in one of those goals with that. Another bullet point, getting to know your students kind of goes along with classroom culture. But even though we don't have preliminary testing done as far as academics go, FastBridge will tell us a lot, but just informal observation in your classroom is going to help you establish what is the student's strength, what are their weaknesses. And if you can hone in on those weaknesses or help children start to compensate for their weaknesses already before you even have testing results, there will be a lot less acting out, because we all know that behaviors are tied to feeling inadequate. So if we help them with those inadequacies, let them know we recognize them and that we are here to support them, and tell them that you are their coach. A lot of kids will respond almost better to you saying, hey, I'm your coach in the classroom, I'm your learning coach, just like you have a football coach or a soccer coach this fall. I'm your learning coach, and we're going to work together to make it better, and we're going to practice and make it more comfortable for you. But finding those frustration points for each child and where they feel less confident is really going to establish that bond between you and that student. And hey, I can turn to this person, I trust this classroom teacher, and it will make a world of difference in your classroom culture. FastBridge will be coming up, FastBridge testing. Again, you are going to be testing, it's called a universal screening, so the whole school will be tested 3 times a year, in the fall, mid-year in December, and then also in the spring. And those results can put up a red flag for those students that have some learning difficulties, but also it will help you get into a mindset of grouping those ability levels within your classroom, whether you teach reading, math, science, social studies, whatever content area you are in, and for most of you that's all of the above. Finding those inadequacies again and building them up. So this testing is important, but it's a preliminary testing. It's not a reflection of you and your teaching strategies. That's going to come in the mid-year testing and end-of-year testing. But right now, this testing is a baseline for us. And how can we help these how can we help these kids and teachers? But who do we need to give the most time to and the most attention? Who do we need to challenge more within the classroom? So I want you to look at this testing as a great opportunity to get to know your class even more and at a deeper level. Jill Stoughton at Bickerdike and Jessica Betts at Simpson will be your best friends when it comes to FastBridge testing, and they have the schedules that they will be making you familiar with, and when they're coming in to help test your class. At Bickerdike, it's a lot of group testing with iPads. At Simpson, it's more one-on-one. Although at Bickerdike, we do have the oral reading fluency test that we'll be doing on certain grade levels, and second grade will also be doing nonsense word fluency, and we will familiarize you more with that as the time comes. But I wanted you to be familiar. Also, you get into Clever to get into your FastBridge testing. There should be a little icon for FastBridge that is in your Clever, and you will click on that, and then you will be able to sign in and see your class roster and see the different subtests that will be given to your class. In September, after all the testing is done, Jill and Jess will be probably doing some professional learning communities with you to help interpret that data, but also I am available. This is what I did for 6 years, I believe. Prior to this, I was the Title I reading teacher here at Simpson, but I also helped at Bickerdike. So I'm very familiar with the universal testing process. Also, first grade, second grade, third grade, you are going to be tested on the QPS, which is Quick Phonics Screener, which is more of a, it's a little deeper test that will show the specific skills that your students need to work on within the phonics realm. So looking forward to all those results, because it will make you a much more effective reading ELA teacher. Support staff expectations. I hope everything is going well with your support staff. We have a phenomenal group of Title paraprofessionals and some great special ed paraprofessionals as well that are coming in and out of your classroom. Be sure that you are using them to their fullest capacity. I should never walk into a classroom and see one of your paraprofessionals just standing with their arms crossed and watching. There should be, even when you're doing whole group instruction, that paraprofessional can be assigned a group of students that they are watching and redirecting and helping keep on task, or helping with fine motor skills. Whatever it is that that child is lacking in, that's why it's so important to identify where your students have inadequacy, so you can use that support staff that's coming in for small group instruction or assisting during large group instructions. But never, ever, ever let that support staff just stand and do nothing. There should always be something that they are actively engaged in with your students. Leave a basket of, if you have a GEI student that has a GEI plan that you are familiar with, and they have some goals that they are working on, whether it be sight word recognition, alphabet recognition, or comprehension skills, have a little basket by the door or a clipboard by the door that has a list of activities that can be done with that student. And if nothing else, have that support para grab that student or two or three that have similar goals and have them work on them out in the hall for 5 minutes. First thing when they come in. We'll talk a little bit about that more later on, because I know that you're trying to keep most of your kids in the classroom for now, but recognizing the opportunity to help those lower students get one-on-one or one-on-three small group attention every single day is going to make a huge difference in their academic progress. So we'll talk more about using that support staff later, but just keep that in the back of your mind. I should never let them just stand, because they are very competent, and if you hand them something, give them some simple directions, they are willing to take it and run with it. last point, I will be sending out a Google Doc either end of this week or first part of next for you to sign up for your September observation. It's already time. I'm observing you quarterly, so your first one for fall will be in September. And again, that'll kind of give me some baseline information on what do we need to work on, what can I help bring to you to make your teaching experience better and more confident. So please be looking for that doc so that you can sign up for what kind of lesson you would like to teach. If you want me to observe an ELA lesson in the new reading series, then sign up for a time that works for me to see that. If you are teaching science, then I'd like for you to sign up for a time that you want me to observe that. So be thinking about that. And you are also going to be observing at least twice, but if I can work it out, I'd love for you to go 3 or 4 times and observe a peer somewhere. So be thinking about who have you seen or talked to that you're thinking, ooh, I really think I would like to observe that person in the classroom. I really think that could help me build my skills. And then let me know, and if I can relieve you and come watch your class while you're observing in that class, that's what I'm here for. So lots to talk about, lots to think about. I'll be sending out a September calendar just like I sent out the August calendar recently for check-in times, and I'm going to try to get you put into a regular schedule of I'm going to be seeing Tori every Tuesday at 8:10 just to check in, or every other Tuesday. So, and you can give me feedback on that as well. I'd really like to visit with you on such and such a day at such and such a time. This would work out well for me. All right, I hope you're having a great day and a great week, and I'm here for you. Kay Stoppel at usd407.org. Reach out to me anytime. Happy teaching.